Today I'm going to talk to you about 4 convincing reasons why corporate life may not be the safe choice. Now, here's the thing, times have changed. But if you're like me, you were told your entire life that you should go to school, you'll get a good job, be loyal to your employer, and then you can retire at 65 with everything that you need. Sound familiar? Here's the thing, that safe path that I just described was for baby boomers. But for millennials, times have changed. And your 8 to 5 corporate job isn't the safe choice that you think it is. Now, I am not here to debate whether or not corporations are evil. I am sharing the following information for you if you're trying to decide whether or not to stay in your safe corporate job or start your own business. Because here's the thing, I know it's a scary decision. I have been there. You're sitting at your job in your office trying to work your way up. You're playing the corporate game, climbing that ladder, and you're doing it because you believe it is the safe choice. I know where you are, but I also know where you want to be. So say me in the comments below if you're trying to decide whether to venture out on your own or stick with your current job. All right, let's dive into these 4 convincing reasons because I am so excited to be sharing this with you today. So the first reason why your corporate job may not be the safe choice that you think it is that the first priority of corporations is not the employees, but the shareholders, okay? If you work for a publicly traded company, meaning that you can buy stock in the company that you work for on Wall Street, the number one priority of that company is its shareholders, not the employees, aka you. And as a shareholder, that means that you own stock in the company. If the employees were the number one priority, salaries wouldn't be stagnant, pensions wouldn't be non-existent. Does anybody know what a pension is anymore? 401k matches would be the norm instead of rare, and your department wouldn't get restructured every 18 months. And you also wouldn't keep seeing more and more taken out of your paycheck each year to cover health insurance costs. Employees are not high on the priority list anymore. If they were, you wouldn't see decisions being made around the end of each quarter that are helpful in the short term, but bad for the company and the employees in the long term. That, my friend, is because of this wonderful thing called quarterly earnings. All right, the second convincing reason why your corporate life may not be the safe choice is because layoffs are still a very real thing. Remember that little thing called the recession that happened in 2008? I bet you can think of at least 1 or 2 people who you know lost their job. And maybe even you graduated into that recession and then you couldn't find a job at all. When people joke about their barista having a master's degree, it hits home for a lot of people. And it isn't really funny. Someone very, very close to me got laid off during this time. My mom. After more than 25 years at the same company, she was brought into a room and told she no longer had a job. I was a freshman in college at the time, and I remember literally sobbing on my way to class when my mom called. I couldn't believe after dedicating so much of her life to a company that they could just let her go. But the reality is that if things aren't going well, your job is just a line item on an expense sheet. And yes, 2008 is an extreme example, but markets are cyclical. They go up and they go down all the time. And as the Motley Fool put it, layoffs are a fact of life for those who are in the workforce. Though it may give a little bit of comfort to those getting a pink slip, Gone are the days when a worker can count on having the same employer through good times and bad. Now, the third convincing reason why your corporate life may not be the safe choice is this wonderful thing called middle management. If you're here, you're probably an ambitious individual, right? You want to grow. You aren't going to be satisfied sitting in the same desk doing the same thing for the next 20 years. Heck, even the next 3 years. You want to move up. And what does that mean? It means becoming a manager. But here's the thing. Middle management sucks. Yeah, I'm going to say it. It sucks. Like, it really sucks. You're basically a babysitter who doesn't have the authority to make any decisions. You're trying to keep the kids happy because you care about them, aka the people on your team, but you have to ask the parents, aka your boss, every time you want to give them a popsicle or try a different approach to getting them to eat their vegetables. Middle managers are the least satisfied employee group. And according to Gallup, only 35% are even engaged in their jobs. And that's because of lack of growth opportunities, being overworked and undervalued. Hello, raise your hand if you feel like that. And an inability to influence strategy and resource allocation. If you think middle management is just a pit stop, though, look at how many senior and executive positions there are. Only a select few make it there. And most of that usually has to do with office politics instead of how smart or good you are at your job. Growth in corporate is more of an illusion. Really, it is. There's only a few people who are going to make it to the top, and that middle gray area is not fun. Now, the fourth convincing reason why your job in corporate is not necessarily the safe choice, and this is probably definitely the most convincing reason, is that your job is your life. Well, at least a third of it, I should say. Excuse me. Here are some stats that might scare you at first, but I hope instead you use them as motivation. Number 1, the average American spends 90,000 hours working. That's a third of your life. If you're going to spend a third of your life doing something, it should be something that you're excited about, that you enjoy, you shouldn't dread every Monday, and that provides you with the life you desire and deserve. Speaking of being happy with our jobs, 87% of us have no passion for what we do. I freaking love what I do. Here's the thing, it is a beautiful Saturday, and right before this, I was sitting outside with my 2 beagles writing this down. Now, you might be thinking, why are you working on a Saturday? But I don't have to be working today. I am choosing because I was inspired this morning and I love what I do. I also spent yesterday, Friday, taking a nap. As you can hear, I might have a little bit of a cold. And then going to the golf course with my husband. I get to choose when and where I work. Third reason, stat you should definitely hear, is that in the US, stress from work is estimated to be the 5th biggest cause of death. Hot, urgent, ASAP. Let's be honest, unless you're saving someone's life, it really isn't that important that we need to be stressing about it all the time. We get these emails or these requests and we're supposed to drop everything else we're doing. What? You want me to not spend time from my family? No. This stress is literally killing us. And the fourth stat that you need to hear is that nearly half of Americans have gained weight at their current job. Maybe we should stop caring about whether or not coffee is going to kill us and instead look at the underlying issues. We are unhappy and we are stressed. So yes, it can be scary to give your safe bi-weekly paycheck, toss and take a chance on yourself. But I will tell you something. I am way less stressed. I am a whole hell of a lot happier, and I make a lot more money working for myself. Case in point, your corporate job is not the safe choice. And that is why I created the free training, 5 Steps to a Successful Side Hustle. Because starting a side hustle can help give you the confidence to eventually put in your 2 weeks and go after your dreams and build that business and work for yourself. So if you're interested in starting your own side hustle, head on over to annaconchar.com/start a side hustle. And for more tips, make sure to like my page and subscribe. And until next time, my friend, stay ambitious. Wait, one more thing before you go. Make sure to subscribe so that you stay up to date on all of the marketing and business tips that I'm sharing with you. And of course, don't forget to click the link to get your freebie so that you get the inside scoop on how to continue to grow your business and side hustle. All right, until next time, friend, stay ambitious.